Alright, skipping ahead has occurred again. Now we're in Chapter 2, Star Flower 10. So, yeah. I can't remember. Is there... Yeah, so this isn't unlocked. And... none of these are unlocked. And this has nothing to do with our boy. So, we're just gonna watch these very short extra things, which is probably Jed and Young Man, I think? Let's find out. Jed for sure. Ooh, Jed, what's your one wish? There are so many things, I can't decide. I want a new pot, get the wall fixed to stop the draft, and a year's supply of jerky? Oh, but... right now, I want to find the Kaleidovia as soon as possible, so that the wolves and the hawks can get along better. Well, we are at that part of the story where you declared a truce of sorts, so, I mean, that's happening right now. Ooh, what's Hugh's one wish?
If I can have any wish granted, can I wish for more wishes? That's not fair. You're the one that said I could wish for anything. If I can't do that, I'll defer this right to someone else. I'm sure that would make the story much more interesting.
So you have too many wishes for one to be satisfactory. Interesting. On good old rabbit.
Than before.
Aw, of course you are. Because you don't like when everyone's fighting. Okay, and there is the one Ashen Hawk episode here. Not really an episode, but... interview question. What's your one wish, sir?
As a sorcerer, what do I wish? Then I'd like a stove that could warm bread easily. That way I wouldn't have to gnaw on frozen bread, and my servant wouldn't have to freeze anymore. Isn't that a great idea?
How kind of you to think of your servant. Okay, and on the other side of town... okay, that's still not unlocked. Ooh, this might be a thing. I keep forgetting to check the air side of Jed and being like, yeah, I've checked everything. I'm good to go to record. And then I'm like, wait, I can dress as a lady. I keep forgetting this very key part of the game. Let's do this before we move on. I took this request in my usual outfit, and this one was from when I was investigating in women's clothes. I had gotten used to properly playing the parts of both man and woman, but there were still times when I got confused. Putting on a disguise was troublesome enough. You know, Jed, I can understand because I keep forgetting you can change. I'm like, oh yes, that. Ashen Hawk, I'm going to head to town. I called to him, but he was nowhere to be found. I thought he'd be lying around somewhere all morning. Could it be? I had a hunch and went over to Ashen Hawk's bed. I pulled away the blanket. Ashen Hawk? Why are you still asleep when the sun is up? Huh? Not only was he not there, there was no indication that he had ever gotten into bed. Very strange. I looked around the room to look for him again. Did he go out? He'd usually say something before going out, but he did forget sometimes. It wasn't out of the question for him to just leave. I looked in the kitchen, by the fireplace, the sides of the bookshelves, and still he was nowhere to be found. Is he really gone? Right when I was about to give up, I heard someone's voice. I looked for the source of the voice and finally found where he was. I also realized why I couldn't find him earlier. I pulled away the blanket just as I did earlier and yelled, "Why are you sleeping in my bed, Ashen Hawk?" Unfortunately, I received no response. He's fast asleep! I reached out to shake him on the shoulder, but I realized something for the first time. He was frowning in pain. His mouth seemed to be moving as if he were trying to tell me something. We'd been living together for a long time, but I had never seen him like this before. Now that I think about it, Ashen Hawk always maintained a calm face. I had never seen him angry or worried. Ashen Hawk? He groaned with an angry expression. His fingers were digging into the bed. Was he having a bad dream? I really had never seen him like this before, so I didn't know what to do. If I was having a bad dream, he would probably gently wake me up. Kiss his eyelid and smile? No, that wasn't going to happen. But that hesitation vanished when I saw Ashen Hawk's expression. His halting mumbling seemed like he was trying to break out of his dreams. Ashen Hawk, are you all right? I cautiously went near him and called his name. Before I could shake him by the shoulders, he slowly got up. The way he moved reminded me of a doll. Or a ghost. Is he awake? His eyes were open, but he was squinting while looking far away. He looked at whatever it was as if it were a target of hatred or regret. Ashen Hawk. I got the feeling he would wander off and disappear, so I called his name once more. His shoulders moved at the sound of his name, and he slowly turned to me. It's you. Thank goodness. It was the usual Ashen Hawk. Although all this was strange, I felt relieved. Did you have a bad dream? I don't know. I've forgotten it already. He wore his usual suspicious smile, but there was a hint of pain in it. He then mumbled as if he were talking to himself. I feel as though I've forgotten something important. Huh? He didn't respond. Maybe he wasn't fully awake yet. I looked at his face. In the next moment, he fell on me. Ashen Hawk? Chad. Ashen Hawk? His arms wrapped around my back and he gently embraced me. His clothes rubbed against my cheek. They felt ice cold. But his arms around me were gentle. Ashen Hawk's back was rounded and it felt as if he was protecting me from something. But that only lasted a few moments. He gently let go of me and smiled. By huddling together, our temporary loneliness can be alleviated. But it seems I will take away your body heat. Whoops. I keep pressing the stupid button. I was confused for a brief moment, but this was probably Ashen Hawk's usual jokes. The free-spirited, gentle overlord of the tower. We'll freeze if we stay together. Oh, really? Then perhaps I'll drag you down with me and turn you into ice. No way! I don't want to die with you. Or perhaps you will melt me with the heat of love or the warmth of kindness. I refuse to do that either. You're on your own. If my body is ice, then your heart is ice. I wish you would have a bit of goodwill in you. But I am kind. You're lucky I didn't kick you out when you were sleeping in my bed. It's not proper for you to kick someone in your outfit. I felt relieved that he was back to normal as we joked around. Even if he was such a free spirit, Ashen Hawk always returned here. Even so. Frowning, he looked at me from head to toe. I was wondering what he was thinking, but he quickly continued his thoughts with a hint of disapproval. You are so small. I would much prefer a woman more well-endowed. I swung my fist at Ashen Hawk. I heard a dull thud. I shouldn't have felt worried about you.
So you were worried. Thank you. But unlike you, I'm not trained physically. I would appreciate it if you went easy on me.
It's your own fault. You should think before you speak.
I meant to say that you should eat things that are more nutritious.
You really need to think before you speak. Whose fault do you think it is that we're so poor?
I see. So poverty has made your body look even more impoverished.
Don't say that while looking at my chest! How dare he say that? I'll admit that I had compared myself with Francisca and the tavern lady before. But I had to bind my breasts ever since they started to grow. That must partially have something to do with it. No, it must be completely because of that. If you were to go out and get a job to pay for the cost of food, I'd get plumper.
How cruel you can be. I'm prepared to become sustenance for you should the need arise.
I'm not talking about extremes here.
But I cannot survive as a ghost. If only I can hold your hand.
You just touched it earlier.
Are you the kind that can't go 2 seconds without complaining?
It's because you keep saying weird things. If you are not satisfied with our situation, then please work harder on your end, Master.
That's right. You work hard every day, my loyal servant.
It is an honor, my lord. Anyway, I'm off to town. I patted down the wrinkles on my skirt and prepared to go into town. But Ashen Hawk stared at me while I did that. What is it?
Nothing. I just thought that having a female servant is quite nice, too. If you like dressing up like that, why not stay that way, even in the tower?
Never. After saying that, I turned around and left. Jeez. I was so worried about him, too. It was a mistake to be considerate of him. As I walked through the snow, a different emotion surfaces. But what was wrong with him? His sharp gaze had wandered somewhere far away. Everyone had bad dreams, but I didn't understand his expression right after he woke up. What was that? Who was that? I do wonder when he said, "It's you," if maybe he mistook Jed for Francisca initially. Because they, her wig is very similar to Francisca's. It wouldn't be completely crazy. But I digress. Anyway, I think we're good. So I'm gonna go and skip ahead again to either a CG or a new episode or something. See you in a bit. Okay, so it wasn't actually very far to skip, and now we're at the next map, and I've confirmed it with both Jed and Air. There's no Ashen Hawk episode this time, but we have some short stuff, so let's take a look. First we got Jed. Spring, huh? Well, I'd like to grow lots of different colors of flowers in a big garden. Not the fake kinds, though. I'd make a big bouquet and give it to Francisca as a gift. I'm sure food would taste much better than what we have now. Just imagining the coming of spring can be fun, even if it never does. Oh, she wants to get her mom some flowers. How nice.
If only you knew the truth. Well, what should we do? Let's write a new story while we're at it. Spring arriving to this town is but one of the endings to the story.
Oh, really? Thanks, you. I appreciate you spoiling endings. That's great. Okay, in at least one ending, spring does come to the town. Confirmed. What do you want to do, Rabbit?
Pa, pa, pa. Pa! Yes, it would be wonderful to hold hands with someone you love while going on a walk.
Aw. Hand and paw with rabbit. Hey, we got all the town memories, apparently. Sweet. Okay. I guess I don't have to look for stuff anymore, she says? Question mark? I think all of these are locked. Let me just double check. That's locked. That's locked. And that is locked as well. Delightful. Okay, and then we just have another Ashen Hawk interview, and that is that yet again.
If spring comes, as a ghost, the seasons have nothing to do with me. How about enjoying the warm sunny weather of freedom? Under the warm sun, even frozen bread can become edible, don't you think? But winter has its good points. I hope you don't overlook that.
Alright, buddy. Alright, well, back to the main story, and I think we're done with the map again until near the end of the game, so we might not even get to that map because I think we get a choice, that last choice with Ashen Hawk before the map unlocks again. So, cool beans, I guess. Alright, well, in that case, I'm just skipping until something... What's the word I'm looking for? Important's not quite it. Something big, you know? Something real big happens. I guess when I see a CG, I'll just be like, backpedal real quick. But anyway, we might just even go to the end at this point. I don't know. We'll see. I can't remember stuff, so I'll shut up and then we'll find out together. Okay, so I skipped ahead a little bit. We've got the Kaleidovia in our possession now from Hugh. And I'm doing all this basically just to have the right lead up to the next CG that happens with Ashen Hawk, or Apris, I should say. Because we're going to meet Mom soon. And I thought, well, you know, this is actually important to Ashen Hawk's story, so I'm going to go through this bit. So here we go. If the fog got any thicker, I wouldn't be able to get back. I needed to focus. With my mind still racing, I ran back to the tower. There were too many thoughts swirling. My head was a mess. Everything was happening so fast. Did that old man know this was going to happen? Who was this man named Hugh? And this package that came into my possession all of a sudden? I had held it tightly all the way back. I placed it on the table and unwrapped it once more. This is the Kaleidovia. I'd never seen it before, and yet I knew what it was. I knew for sure the moment I saw it. The sculpture was slightly too large to hold in one hand. It had some scratches on it, but the brasswork was intricate and glowing. There were about 4 spots that looked like they used to have some stones embedded in them, but they were empty now. It's pretty. Lauren said that it was worthless, but I didn't believe that. It must have value, at least as a work of art. But even more so. My eyes couldn't look away. It appeared as if a mysterious light was surrounding it. A faint glow. So slight that even the light from the fireplace overwhelmed it. I stared at it in the hopes of seeing the faint light more clearly. As I continued to do so, I became even more entranced. Soon I couldn't think of anything. My mind went into a haze. It was as if my soul was being sucked into it, taking me into another world. The myriad of colors drew me into a trance, carrying my mind away. I wanted to continue looking at this light. I wanted to be with this light, forever and ever. Oh! Suddenly the light was covered in a cloth and I came to my senses. Saved. But I wasn't the one who covered the Kaleidovia. It was the other resident of the tower. Ashen Hawk! When did he come into the room? Ashen Hawk was standing right next to the Kaleidovia.
That light is a bit too strong for your eyes, especially in this dark tower.
Yeah. Wonder if there's some... because... words. I wonder if because reality's split here at the tower, if that's why the Kaleidovia is more powerful here. Like if she stared at it in other places, it wouldn't be as powerful. He didn't have on his usual joking expression. In his face was a hint of weariness. I had never seen him make that sort of expression before.
Don't you have to give that back? If so, don't look at it with coveting eyes.
I wasn't looking at it like that.
Or perhaps you wanted to pocket it for yourself.
I did not.
I'm sure you wouldn't. But people can be impulsive. You should deliver it to your client as soon as possible.
You don't have to tell me. I was planning on delivering it in the morning.
Good. Do you need a good luck charm for tonight?
I've never asked you for it. If you're done here, please go.
Yes. Good night. Sweet dreams.
I watched Ashen Hawk leave while maintaining my anger. But deep down, I felt relieved. It was the usual Ashen Hawk that I knew. Or actually, did he force himself to act that way? I shook my head to rid myself of unnecessary thoughts. I should go to sleep before I start thinking of other weird things. I wonder if this is where Mom is inside the Kaleidovia. Because it doesn't seem like she really died either, judging that I think she's the voice that calls out to the kids when they had all their gems together. So I wonder if she still kind of exists in happier memories. Possibly. Again. It was a dream, but it felt oddly real. I had seen this scenery before. It looked the same, but something felt different. I was dressed like a girl, and there were lots of flowers blooming before me. In the middle of all of it stood a woman. I knew this person, but I didn't know who she was.
Hello, little ghost.
The woman looked straight at me. Is she talking to me? No, I'm not a ghost.
I suppose, because ghosts are scary. Someone as cute as you can't be a ghost.
She smiled an innocent smile, like a child.
Can I come closer to you?
I nodded. I wanted to look more closely, too. I wanted to go near her. She came closer. She crouched down in front of me so we could see eye to eye.
If you're not a ghost, then perhaps a fairy?
I shook my head. I was neither a ghost nor a fairy.
No? Then...
Never mind me. What about you?
Me?
She smiled so much, like a mischievous child.
I'm a witch.
The woman's eyes turned red. I see. So this person was a witch. I wasn't surprised. I just felt like it all made sense.
This is a secret between me and my best friends, but I'll let you in on it.
Why?
Why?
The woman thought.
Oh, I know. Because I thought you looked like someone I know. Yes, you look identical to someone I love. So you're special.
I didn't know who this person loved, but that person must be the happiest person in the world. He was, once upon a time. Because that person had something as wonderful as her love, whoever it was.
Can I ask for your name?
Jed. I responded right away, but the woman made a troubled face.
Is that your real name?
My real name? I didn't know what else to say except that my name was Jed. No, that's not it. That was my name when I was a man. I had another name when I was a woman. My real name. The one that my mother gave me. Air.
Air. Air. Air. Yes, that's a wonderful name.
I mumbled it a few times and she praised me.
Air. Are you happy right now?
Was I happy? I didn't know. I never thought about whether I was happy or not.
I'm very happy. There's someone I love, and there is a new life inside my tummy. That's why it may be strange to say this, but I want you to be happy too. I want you to pick the path that makes you happy.
The path that would make me happy. The path that I would choose.
Aria!
I heard a voice from behind me. Huh? This voice. I knew this voice.
I'm sorry. That's it for today. Until then, let us meet again.
The woman called Aria stood up and walked to the source of the voice. Her body passed through me. I turned around. Wazzy looky. Aria was smiling from the bottom of her heart. And the person standing next to her was Aria's love? Well, not quite. He had red hair. He was tall. And he looked familiar. Also just noticed he has thorns on his outfit, which is interesting. My vision turned white. I was probably going to wake up from this dream. And then I would forget about this scene, filled with happiness. Wonder if I'll ever chitty-chat with her again. After I got up, I felt disoriented for a while. I didn't remember the dream I had, but I felt like it was a pleasant one. I looked toward the table and saw the Kaleidovia covered in the cloth in the same position as last night. A man I didn't know forced the Kaleidovia on me yesterday all of a sudden. He was a young man. It was so strange that I felt even that was a dream, but it appeared to be reality. I felt like the Kaleidovia was glowing through the cloth. Perhaps it was, but I didn't feel like taking off the cloth to check. The night before, I wanted to stare at it forever, but now I was afraid to even look at it. I should take it to the church immediately. I said it out loud to motivate myself. The light from the window was brighter than usual. Today might be a little warmer. Even the birds are singing. All right, that's a good catch-up of that. I shall now go forward and skip ahead a little bit again, guys. Alrighty, so the masquerade has now happened, and we're on our way back, and we're going to one of my favorite scenes in the game, so... It has a CG, to be fair, but it's also one of my favorite parts, so I'm definitely going to do this. By the time I returned to the tower, it was already past midnight. I had stayed at the festival longer than planned, but it was due to the restrictive clothing I was in. On a whim, I had returned without changing because I wanted to show him. To the man who sat idly by the tower without joining the festival. I'm home, Ashen Hawk.
Welcome back. Oh?
I opened the door and felt relieved to find him at the tower today. It would have been really sad if he came back and was like, "Aw, man, of all days!" Ashen Hawk looked surprised. That was more than enough reward for me to have come in this outfit.
My beautiful lady, what brings you here to this desolate tower late this night?
Tonight was the masquerade. I wandered here in search of someone to dance with.
I see. Then today is the annual... If I may humbly offer my hand as your partner, what say you?
Yes, gladly. We exchanged our remarks in a joking way. Ashen Hawk escorted me to the middle of the cramped tower, and we began our dance. With no music playing, the two of us danced together awkwardly in this bizarre ballroom. Tale as old as time. This is just one of my favorite pictures. It's so beautiful. Look at the two of them. So cute.
I can't believe my eyes.
Does it look strange?
Not at all. You're beautiful.
Thank you. The people at the church prepared it for me.
How was the masquerade?
It was great. Really great. Everyone cooperated with one another to make the masquerade a success. No one cared who was a wolf or a hawk. It wasn't just Francisca and me. The people of the Hawk, especially T, wanted this relationship to continue. Perhaps we could get along. Maybe we could even be friends. And Lugus said... No, I couldn't tell Ashen Hawk. This was a secret between just Lugus and me.
Waiting for the day we can meet again.
Huh?
That's the meaning of the licorice flower you're wearing. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. However little it may have been, I was able to contribute to the success of the festival. I was proud of that fact. But that was why I should keep standing tall. Although I might have regrets, I still had to. I had to keep facing forward and leave this town.